live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Thanks for joining us on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. Tuesday, October 3rd, going in depth tonight on new documents that I obtained today. These are new police reports from Springville Police Department. They outline what went on basically in the town the day that Ruby Franke was arrested. It also talks about a report the following day and then a report the following day, that would be 2 days after the arrest, from Kevin Franke, that is Ruby Franke's husband, regarding a burglary at the home and charges he wanted filed. Before we get there, though, let's take a look at your headlines. You can find all of this on our website, KUTV.com. Kevin McCarthy has lost his job as Speaker of the U.S. House. He was voted out this afternoon, 2016-2010, after his allies failed to block a motion to remove him. This is now the first time a House Speaker has ever been removed from Congress through a resolution to remove them. Also in our headlines tonight, you can find all of this on our website. A 16-year-old is now in the hospital after a car hit her while she was riding an e-bike in Eagle Mountain. Utah County Sheriff's deputies described this as a low-speed accident and say the driver is cooperating. They expect the teen to make a full recovery. Also in your headlines, happening tomorrow, the federal government is planning a nationwide emergency alert test happening tomorrow, 12:20 p.m. They want to make sure the system works in case there's ever a national emergency. And Intermountain Health is making it easier for a Utah woman to get screened for breast cancer. As part of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Intermountain Health's Breast Cancer Center and Breast Care Center is in Murray, and it's opening for mammogram screenings every Saturday in October. As we go in depth tonight, you can get in touch with us during the show. Use the hashtag 2NewsLive to join the conversation. You can always find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Send me a direct message there to weigh in. We're going to continue to go in depth tonight. 2 new pieces of information that we hope to bring to you. Police reports showing a couple of different things that we've learned here in the last few hours regarding Ruby Franke and what took place there in Springville. So these 2 new pieces of information that we have for you, hoping to show you here eventually. Okay, 2 new pieces of information tonight. Police reports are showing how law enforcement responded on child abuse allegations. A number of documents here for you. The first one that we're going to talk about, a few weeks ago, we told you about a 3rd member of Connections Classroom. We told you about Pam Botcher. At this point, we really didn't know what Pam's involvement in any of this was. She's listed as a team member on the website, which is still active. Now we know a little bit more about Pam, thanks to this report. So I'm going through a couple of these documents. This is from August 30th. So this document here is from August 30th. It shows contact with DCFS, talks about the Franke residence, talks about how they had to obtain a search warrant. And then when they got that search warrant, they were looking for those 2 outstanding Franke children. They got the search warrant and they went to the home. At that home, they found no one was there. They actually had to break down the front door of that house to ultimately see if anybody was inside after they didn't get an answer at the door. So that would be why, keep on me here, that's why the front door is broken. So according to these police reports, we then hear from Pam Botcher because they had to go through Ruby's oldest daughter to try and find out where these 2 children were. One of them was at work at a local business. The other one was last seen earlier in the day. Police actually went to the place of business where one of these individuals worked. They looked at the surveillance video. They determined that Pam Botcher picked this child up. So they found that Pam had picked her up and taken her to her house. That's an American Fork. So then they sent local officers from a different department to American Fork to check in with Pam. When they were there, they located the 2 children they were trying to find. What is this whole thing all about? Initially, when I spoke with Jody Hildebrandt's niece, Jessie, she told me that, over a decade ago, Jody and Pam were friends. So she would see Pam around the house. Now we know that Pam, as she says it in the police report, got a phone call from Ruby Franke the day all of this went down saying there was a family emergency and to take the 2 children at her house. Jessie speaks about the time that she saw Pam with Jody.
Pam Botcher, when I was living with Jody, Pam Botcher was around. She was Jody's like best friend. And I didn't realize that she was connected in this. I mean, I have very strong feelings towards Pam because of not that she was directly applying abuse, like just she wasn't like actually involved, but she was one of the people that was like constantly surveilling, like they're like the surveillance of like reporting back to Jody. She was always at the house just because she was friends with Jody, so it's sometimes a little murky. But wow, that's very disappointing, and I'm wondering why she's not being, why they're not talking about her.
The second piece of new information tonight, according to these police reports that you can see right here, Ruby's husband, Kevin Franke, wanted to file charges against his own daughter just days after the arrest. So follow me here. August 30th is when the arrest took place. That would be this document we just outlined to you. Again, you can find this right now on our website, KUTV.com. These are the following days. One of them outlines the next day. That is when Springville police were called to go back to the Franke household with the oldest daughter and other members of the family and a DCFS caseworker. They were there to keep the peace, if you will. That is what this is described as they went into the home and gathered personal items for 4 children, 2 in northern Utah, in Utah County, in the care of the oldest daughter, and then the 2 that started this whole thing, right, in Ivins, Utah, that are in state custody. So, as we know it here, this document outlines how they went in there, they went in the home, police were there to supervise this and how it went down, leading to the next day when Kevin comes into play here. Kevin ultimately calls police the following day and files a report for a burglary. Kevin calls them and says, hey, my house, which is Ruby Franke's home, was burglarized and electronic devices were taken. The department ultimately found out that the oldest daughter took some of these electronic devices, a box, if you will, of all these devices. I'm going to read to you exactly what was in there because this is interesting. A box that entailed 3 tablets, 3 cell phones, 3 cameras or GoPros, a stack of written journals, and 3 passports for Kevin Franke, Ruby Franke, and one of the other children. A lot of devices there. The oldest daughter takes the devices back, brings them to the police department. Kevin picks them up. Kevin ultimately tells police at least once that he wants to file charges against his own daughter for theft. The police department, in some of the words that we have here, decided that because the daughter didn't want to deprive Kevin of any of these items, and she brought them back, that they would not ultimately go through with charges. Kevin, according to some of these statements here, says that's not really good enough. I'm paraphrasing here, and decided to say that he was going to sue the department. So, as we reached out to Kevin's attorney earlier today, his name is Randy Kester. I had an interview scheduled with Randy today that he ultimately canceled because of the ongoing cases. According to police, Kevin also threatened to sue the department because he wasn't satisfied with the answer. So his attorney telling me today in a statement that you see on your screen, Kevin didn't do either. He and Sherry are working together. This is the second statement here. So let's go back to the first. Kevin didn't do either. He and Sherry are working together on bygones and resuming a loving and healthy father-daughter relationship. The statement continued by saying Kevin is still trying to understand and correct the upside-down world that was dealt to him. It is a lot to deal with all at once. So, you can find a lot of this on our YouTube channel, a conversation I had with Ruby and Kevin's nephew last week, and why he says that Kevin also needs to be included in some of these charges. Again, it's a lot of finger pointing at this point. We haven't gone through a lot of the court proceedings. You can find that full conversation on our YouTube channel. I did check today with the Washington County Attorney's Office. There is nothing scheduled as it pertains to what is next in terms of court with this case. We'll keep you posted. Heading out to some forecasting right now with meteorologist Chase Thomason and looking at where we are right now. I'm most impressed with the fall colors. This is all just for you.
I got a great photo.
I wanted to see pretty pictures of fall colors. What do you got here?
They're coming. I want to go in depth in the month of October. Okay. Of course, October 1st happened over the weekend. We're a few days late, but here's what you can expect for the month of October. October 1st, our normal high is 73. Of course, we've been well below that with this storm system, but that's on average. By the end of the month, we drop roughly about 15 degrees with our normal high being 58, but look at that morning low. By the end of the month, Halloween, 38 degrees. So we see a big drop, see a little bit more rain as these fall storms begin to move in, and we can still get some warm air, especially in early October. Record high is 89. Record low, though, is 14 degrees. So this is when we're going to start to see maybe that transition, freezing temperatures, maybe our first taste of snow later this month.
Keeps these guys on their toes.
It does.
We like that.
We like October because it's that transition as we head into winter. So let's get right to your forecast. And we did see some decent rain from this latest storm system here in Utah, picking up 6,400. That's about half of what we typically see for the entire month of October. So as we start off the water year, this is a great start. Of course, last week on 2 News Live, we talked about how well we did for the water year, roughly about 2.5 inches above normal. Starts October 1st, goes to the last day of September. Here's that fall color for Brian Schnee. Garden City really delivering with the fall colors, lots of orange and reds. Appreciate this shot, Carol Dyer. They are peaking right now, and if you want to take a look at those fall colors, I think you're going to love my weekend forecast. Today hit 60 degrees in Salt Lake City, which is about 12 degrees below normal. Lots of low 60s and even some 50s here in the Intermountain West. Big dip in the jet stream, and it has that cooler air, but that cooler air is going to be moving with this storm system. We're still on the back side of it, so our winds are out of the northwest, keeping some of these light showers going and the cloud cover here in northern Utah. But the widespread rain, it's gone. Just a few hit or miss showers developing over the Great Salt Lake, and this could move in later tonight, so we can't rule out more showers later this evening and overnight. Temperatures dropping to the 30s and 40s in northern and central Utah. We might get close to freezing tonight across portions of west central Utah, maybe near Manti, Richfield, and Cedar City. Right now we're forecasting mid-30s. Tonight in St. George, 51 degrees. But by the afternoon tomorrow, a little bit warmer, more sunshine. We'll call it partly cloudy, though, in northern Utah, mid-60s for highs, but still need a jacket in Park City at 55 degrees. 60s in central Utah, St. George near 80. And again, it's only going to get warmer as we wrap up the work week. Storm is moving out, but here are these lingering showers across northern Utah tonight. Tomorrow morning, we might have some cloud cover, but by the afternoon, we'll have some sunshine. I think generally it looks like a pretty quiet day, and then definitely more sunshine statewide on Thursday and into Friday as this high begins to push into Utah, likely right on top of us by Saturday and Sunday, bringing in all the sunshine and some very mild weather for this time of year. St. George 80 tomorrow, goes to 85 on Thursday, upper 80s and near 90 as we head into the weekend, and your overnight lows still cooling off with these longer nights into the upper 50s. But we are dry in southern Utah and northern Utah for the next 7 days. But again, we can't rule out a light shower for tonight. 46 for a low, 66 tomorrow, goes to 70 on Thursday. Friday, perfect at 74 degrees, and please make those outdoor plans this weekend. We'll be in the upper 70s Saturday, Sunday, and staying in the 70s early next week. Those overnight lows still a little chilly in the 40s, but by the weekend, they'll likely be in the low 50s.
So this past Sunday, I was expecting more of a washout, and I don't think it really got to that point in certain areas like it was, well, we were thinking. I think it maybe changed a little bit.
No, not at all. We talked about early Sunday morning, and I told you that you're going to have a big break in the afternoon, and then Monday afternoon. We'll go back and rewatch it.
We should go back and rewatch it.
So
we looked at Sunday morning, and I'm like, you know, I thought it was supposed to be raining.
See, this is a great. This just confirms everything that I think of, is that sometimes our anchors, they don't pay attention to the forecasts. Christina.
She knows what's up.
She knows. We're going to call you out. I'm going to call you out because I said that specifically on Friday on 2 News Live.
Okay.
Right here.
I'm going to go back and, you know, we can find the tape on YouTube right now. I'm going to go back and look at it.
I know.
Hey, this looks like a wonderful forecast with a great weekend. I'm excited about this.
Your Sunday is going to be sunny.
I don't
Your
have
Saturday
to plan
is gonna be
around
sunny.
any potential raindrops. 0% is what I see when I see this.
We got a lot of rain from this storm.
Hey, remember to download our 2 News weather app to know about changes in your neighborhood. Maybe I need to check it more often. Get updated forecasts, live radar, right at the palm of your hand. Our meteorologists are always keeping you up to date with everything you need to know. I should take a piece out of the playbook, I think, here. Chase, keep up the good work. The app is free to download. So, it's October. It means it's time to start making federal student loan payments again after a more than 3-year reprieve due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Officials with the Institute for Student Loan Advisors say the transition could be challenging for some borrowers They recommend borrowers use the loan simulator tool at studentaid.gov to determine which repayment option is best for them. And remember, the Biden administration has instituted an on-ramp plan, a grace period on missed payments through September 2024.
Normally with federal student loans, if you're 90 days delinquent or more, it starts getting reported negatively to the credit bureaus. That's not going to happen during these 12 months.
Still says the same. It doesn't say 5%.
Interest, however, will accrue beyond the on-ramp window. They say it to make plans now and to avoid default, which happens. Payments are not made for 270 days. That's about 9 months. So also looking, of course, at the local impact, as we commonly do here. How many students in Utah have student loans? Christina Flores joining us. As always, kind of looking after this, and we've talked a lot about loans here just over the last couple of weeks, but what are you looking at as it pertains to this? I know there is a very interesting tool out there right now.
Yeah, there are a lot of tools out there that can help students calculate the right amount to borrow before they borrow for college. Unfortunately, we're learning that a lot of students don't really spend a lot of time on these calculations, trying to figure out how much could I potentially earn after I'm done with college. What are the true expenses for me to go to this particular school? So they end up borrowing the wrong amount, and a lot of students end up getting in a bit of trouble paying back those loans.
That's going to be over 33 million borrowers entering repayment at the same time. That's never happened before. So there certainly are stresses on the system, and that'll be new for borrowers too. There are borrowers who say, they're concerned that they aren't ready to pay $450, $500 or more a month.
So that's Mr. Jones with the Financial Aid Office at the University of Utah, speaking generally about the burden on students, right, who can't afford their student loans right now, or graduates, I should say, because you don't start paying on those most often until after you're done with school. But anyway, there are a lot of tools out there that you can use to calculate what your debt will be, whether you can afford it. And you do that not only before you take out the loan, but also when you're in school. You need to be checking regularly to see, am I on track? Am I staying on budget? Have I borrowed too much? Do I need all this money? Because what we're finding right now is that a lot of people are going to have to start repaying loans, the federal loans anyway, and it's going to get pretty difficult.
On 2 News at 4, you were mentioning a tool, a specific app that was developed. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, it's called Gradually, and it's run by a student at BYU. He's still in school right now. He's about to graduate. But this tool helps students figure out what's the maximum I should borrow for college if I'm going to go to a particular school, go into a particular major. And the whole idea of it is that you don't want to overborrow, right, and end up with these big payments after you're done with school. So if you want to learn more about this, I've posted more information at KUTV.com, and also we're going to talk about this on 2 News at 10 o'clock tonight as well.
Thank you, Christina. Should be very interesting. This impacts obviously a lot of people.
Yeah,
not everyone
320,000 people have loans here in Utah for school.
And
That's a lot of people.
And I'm not surprised by that large number.
Yeah.
Of course, we want to hear from you at home. What do you wish you would have known before signing up for student loans? Scan the QR code and weigh in right now. This is something we've seen on 2 News at 4. The numbers were very similar. The interesting thing that has jumped since then is how much money I'd be making.
Yeah.
49%, the alternative options to loans. Christina, as it pertains to this, I think the app is very fascinating, and no better state than Utah to develop an app.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds about right.
I know, right? And it's developed by students, so they know who this is really important to them, right? Because they're living all of this right now.
I know Chase is here. Did you find
what
you were looking for?
Oh, I did.
Chase is here to prove to me.
I got the points right here.
Let me stand in the middle and mediate.
Let me turn it up.
Let me put my iPad down. I need to hear this.
Rain is to our west out in Nevada. Again, that moves in early Sunday morning while we're sleeping.
I agree with that.
Into the I-15 corridor, the Wasatch Front. This is our first wave. Now, by the afternoon, we'll still have some scattered showers and thunderstorms, but it's going to be very hit or miss. So you might see a few breaks Sunday afternoon.
You might see a few more breaks Sunday afternoon.
Weatherman
here comes our second wave.
Wrong again.
Just saying. It's that ongoing joke that the weatherman's never right.
But there's not a clear winner on that one. I think it's all in the interpretation.
Come on, Christina.
I'm not going to take a side.
I won't accept defeat. I'm not going to accept defeat. The moderator here decided that there was no clear-cut winner.
I can see how you would interpret it one way or the other,
So what I'm going to do in the future
nice day,
is if I have a question, I'm going to DM you and ask you individualized questions.
You can do
about
that.
something. I know.
Yes.
So others should do the same.
That's the benefit
thank
of
you
working with him.
Well, I know. I can just walk
You
up here and
always
be like,
do.
hey, buddy, I brought you a coffee. Can you tell me what I need to know?
Yeah.
Thank you for
Okay.
being the officiant here. We
All
needed
right,
that.
I'm out.
Thanks
both
for
win.
watching 2 News Live. This
We're
was
all
fun.
out.
We should do this. Oh, yeah.
I know.
See ya. We're back tomorrow. I am not with you tomorrow on Thursday. I apologize. Got to go do some stuff. I'll be back on Friday.
Okay.
I
I'll
think
be
you're
here.
going to be here.
Yep, I'll
Cool.
be here.
Well, he's always right. That's all that matters. So, see ya.